somebody's feeling a little sorry for himself this morning. So he had his grain pulled right back out. He didn't go for it anyway. He had his hay pulled. And he was given a dose of Banamine. And twice so far, these magic drops. Before he came in, he didn't really fight for his position to get to the gate, and that's normal for him to fight for a gate position. He's the boss, so I knew something was up. Even when it was time, so here, and this is what I was about to tell you, is he's about to lay down again. The first thing he did when he came in, besides eating, was want to lay down. I'll let him lay down. If he picks a safe place to do it. You're okay, buddy. Don't be fooled by a past manure either, because that might be one that's before the problem. You know, that might be one closer to the exit than where the problem is, so don't be fooled by that, because he's still very much acting colicky. So I'm going to clean that one up, keep an eye on him. Hopefully we'll get another one and see that things are moving okay. I'm going to look for a dosing syringe and get my mineral oil started to pump down him. All right, so this is what's next when trying to help them through a colic: a dosing syringe and a bottle of mineral oil. And you're just going to keep giving them as much mineral oil as they'll tolerate you to give them. You can give them that whole bottle eventually, but don't be fooled by the first manure you see. It could be one that was on the exit side of an impaction. So you want to try to get things moving. And this is one way to try to help that. So he's been fly sprayed, fly masked, every irritant that could keep him going in a bad, feeling sorry for himself frame of mind. He's been mineral oiled 3 times with a full dosing syringe. Banamine for about 1,500 pounds because he's a draft cross. And my colic drops at least 5 times. So I have a camera that I can pivot and watch just about any place in the barn that I just clean the lens on to make sure it's good. And I know I can see him because I was already watching him when I was getting ready for work, but I'm going to try to go and be at work today, and hopefully he was just experiencing a little gas. He had 1 manure, but like I always say, the first manure you find after you see that they've not been feeling well is not a guarantee that that was not just on the exit side of the problem. So you want to make sure that you wait for your second manure to make sure that that's truly being processed in the system and that things are actually moving. All right. And another thing is, know your horses, right? Should I be panicking that I have 2 others laying down? No. She likes to lay down immediately after she has her meal. And he just got up because I went in to grab manure out of his stall. But he lays down immediately after a meal. So I don't want to go around saying, oh, everybody's not feeling good. However, I do put preventative homeopathic colic remedy drops on them when one horse is colicking. So I'll show you how that's done. Since he just got up, we'll go ahead and give it to him. It's just something you... Hopefully the fan doesn't knock that right down into my water bucket. So I just pull it back from the mane. Try to make sure I get as close to the skin as I can. Because if you just put it on the fur, you may not even get the benefit that you're trying to get. Sometimes I'll pat it just so it's not, there's no drips. But yeah, nice little fairy knot you got there, sweetie. Yeah. This crazy kid. You can put them anywhere. Like, sometimes I put them on their backs. Sometimes I put them, you know, like in the ear. Sometimes I put them where the tail meets their body. Don't push that. Because there's definite skin you can reach at that point, but no, you can't come out. Sorry, bud. Okay, whew. I think I've redosed everybody, oh, except for Katie. And this is just preventative now, because even though he's not looking as sorry for himself, he's definitely not himself right now. That's his food that he never touched, and I pulled the hay out before he considered nibbling on that. And that's just gonna stay out for the day. I'd rather my horse be a little hungry for the day than me put the food back too soon and have an impaction that's starting to move become impacted more. So you take the grain away, you take the hay away, you make sure they have plenty of water, and you just consider this a fast, right? Like, he's gonna get blood work done this afternoon and he needs to fast for 8 hours. And that's just what this is gonna be. You're way better doing it that way than you are feeling sorry for him that he didn't get to eat, and, you know, your emotions to not let your horse be hungry get in the way. Just make sure that you understand that this is for his best result of not feeling well. All right, everybody have a great day, and I'll let you know how he is later. So, I want to kind of tell you how I knew something was off about Logan to know to treat for hopefully only a gas colic. Aren't flies obnoxious? So, he's the boss horse, so he stands at the gate. When it's time for us to come in for breakfast, he knows to stand at the gate and guard the gate. He's the boss, and nobody gets to come in before him. This morning, he stood back and was busy inspecting a pile of manure, which is certainly not more important than coming in for his breakfast. So that was my first clue something was off. Being able to grab Teddy and bring him in instead without any encroachment on the gate, again, another clue something's off. Because even if he was busy and thought it was important to sniff that pile of manure, watching Teddy being invited to come in first would have put him into gear to say, no, me. Came back out for him. He was still standing, no longer inspecting the pile of manure, but still standing over by it. Definitely not at the gate still. These are all red flags. When you know your horses, you know their behavior, you know their routines. So I haltered him, brought him in. I unhaltered him, but knew right away I'm pulling his grain, I'm pulling his hay. And before I even exited the stall, he went down. Even though it looked like he was going to just lay peacefully, in this particular case, I wanted to make sure he got back up so I can encourage a passing of manure and not leaving for the day with him laying down. From there, I ran back to the house because it's been too hot to store Banamine in the barn, and ran and got a tube of Banamine. And I also got my colic drops. Ooh, I have them on me, but it's going to be backwards because I have this in selfie mode. But I have these colic drops, okay? I swear by them, because I have a horse that loves to colic on any kind of change, whether it's change of weather, change of hay, change of grain. I'm very, 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 very careful not to make changes for this one horse. But when he does, he tends to show signs of colic, so I always have these drops on hand. I don't know if I gave him, I think I gave him a couple drops before I ran back to get the Banamine. Came back with the Banamine, gave him a big 1,500 pound dose of Banamine, because as you can see, he's a big guy. And he's half Clydesdale. And that takes about 20 minutes as a paste. It takes about 20 minutes to kick in to where they start to show any signs of maybe more brightness. And then while he was digesting that, I went and brought all the rest of the horses in. Still feeling sorry for himself. He did pass some manure, but still was threatening to lay down. I was willing to let him lay down at that point, but I also pointed out in another video, which is going to be part of this collection, that you don't trust that first manure as being all clear, okay? That first manure could be on the exit side of something that's going wrong, right? So there could be a blockage in his intestine on the stomach side and not on the colon side, and you don't want to be so sure that that first manure is anything but something that was just already there. So I always wait for a second manure to make sure that things are coming through his system. Then I went and forgot that I didn't have a dosing syringe down here, so I ran back to the house and grabbed a dosing syringe and gave him 3 full tubes, 3 full dosing syringe full of mineral oil. Mineral oil, tasteless. Generally speaking, they'll let you keep giving it to them. You can give them up to 20 ounces, and that's not me telling you what you can do. That was from the first time that one horse I was telling you about colicked. The vet actually just didn't want to come out, so he's like, well, go get mineral oil, give him about 20 ounces of mineral oil, and if you're still having a trouble, give me a call, because he would have had to come over a bridge, which is a toll bridge, and he didn't want to come. So needless to say, we got him through it, and I've learned from that point that that is something that I also add to my what to do now when they're acting not well. His heart rate's not, you can check their pulse by finding the vein that goes under their jawbone and press on it, not so much that you stop the blood flow, but press on it enough so you can feel the pulse, time it for 15 seconds, and then multiply that by 4, and that's your heart rate. And, obviously an elevated heart rate, you might decide calling the vet is important at this point. He looks bright. You see he keeps putting his ears forward because he's, listening to other things. He looks bright enough that I'm like, okay, he's stretching. But he looks bright enough that I'm like, I'm not going to feed him. Okay. I'm okay with my horses missing a meal. So his food is underneath, his grain is underneath that big pile of hay there, and the hay's been pulled also. And these flies are getting annoying. I'd rather him go a little hungry today than feeling sorry for him and putting more food on top of a possible impaction that's breaking up. And now I just made it worse. So try not to feel too sorry for them when you have to make the decision to hold the food. Okay, these flies are getting annoying. He's been fly sprayed. He has his fly mask on. And the flies obviously are finding me more edible than him right now, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But those are my signs and my immediate medical treatment for suspected colic. Okay? All right. Everybody have a great day, and hopefully he will too.